Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I do apologise, it has been far too long, but how about I get you up to date with how we got to here. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nathan White and this is Loco Builds. Yep, from the last episode, as you saw, I was putting it down onto axle stands and getting closer to putting it onto the floor. Well, as you can probably tell from my seating position inside the engine bay of the car, we're obviously down on the ground. Now, before I get to the point of showing you how it looks, I'll show you how we got there and the troubles. There's going to be a little message underneath this saying, I found more help. That's how we do that then. As you just saw, me and Steph checking for clearance with the fuel filler neck and everywhere else. We can't move it because, like I showed you earlier, I trashed my front hub, but looking good. Looking good. Pretty even as well, weren't they, Steph?
Not bad.
Not bad. And as you can see at the front, we've just proper bodged it on some wood. I don't know what's going on there though. But yeah, she's on the floor.
Oh, this is where I put the spanner on the wrong way around.
Spanner in the works.
Knuckles!
Go for it. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, as you've just seen, she's rolling. And there she is. Looking absolutely spot on. Needs a couple more panels, but I have started bolting on some others. We've got an RS4 tailgate, which I helped break an RS4 for a friend, and Jake kindly donated that. So the spoiler and the boot plinth are immaculate. Get that painted up. Bumpers on. Rolling on those 1552 podiums with little itty bitty discs behind. We'll sort them out one day. Me and Steph also got the cage bolted in. This cage is a full-on budget cage when the car was supposed to be a budget build, which it definitely is not anymore. That'll get changed at some point because, do you know what? The way the car's going, that's just not up to par. But for now, it's given it the look that I want. Same with the seats. These were a little £150 purchase long ago. And again, the way this car's going, the work that me and Tom have put in, and everything else, they're just not going to cut the mustard, so they'll get changed at a later date. So we'll go for a full multi-point cage of some sort. I've got a friend who done a write-up for my previous cover car that I built, Si McNally. He works for Powermax Racing, and he said that a full cage is not as expensive as you might think. So that'd be pretty cool. Full BTCC spec cage going in would be epic, but we'll see. Seats I'll change for something else, I don't know what. I've also purchased a Cooler Works shifter. That is looking brilliant in there. Silver knob to match everything else. As you can see, front end, that's going to need some adjustment. I've talked to BC Racing about changing the bottoms and stuff like that to try and get a bit more lows out of it. Obviously we've got some weight to add to the car, and I hope that will adjust it, because I would like to bring it down a bit more, but it's got to be usable. As much as I want to be tucking the wheels, much like the BTCC cars of old, those cars and that suspension, etc., were on a different level, so we'll see what I can do. Up front, engine bay is as is. I'm filming this a long time on from the work me and Tom done. Life, time, other car purchases have taken over, and the poor old A4 has been left to the side. However, I'm here today, probably 2-3 months on, and I've got to rectify a fault. Upon my excitement to get the car on the floor, on the driver's side, I managed to tap in the hub with a little rubber mallet, and it went in beautiful with the bearing. And then I got to mount up the disc, etc., etc. So I thought, well, why not continue and do the passenger side? And there, as you can see, I exploded the bearing. So thankfully everything is easy to take off and on, and that's what I'll be doing. My next job is to take this hub off, get the car rolling, because tomorrow I'm getting my 2 poster finally installed. So this car will be up on an actual lift, and I'll never have to use an axle stand again. Kinda. So yeah, let's get to it rather than me keep talking. Upright off, bearing out, hub pressed in, get the wheel mounted, she's then rolling. Might as well get these panels bolted back up, because our unit is in the middle of nowhere and crap just goes over it everywhere, as you can see. So I don't really want to have to hoover it out again. Enough talk, let's get to it. See you in a bit. Well, that officially turned out to be a lot more difficult than it should have been. Bearing pressed in, yeah, got it on the wonk first time, sorted out on the second time. Then trying to press in this damn hub, I have no idea why it's being so challenging, but I just cannot get the hub to go flat down. So I need to move the car on all fours, like I said, for the lift installation, so this is going to have to do. I was putting so much pressure on that, yeah, Even the little old 6-ton press couldn't handle it. So that is something that needs replacing. So yeah, a simple case of pressing an old bearing. This hub's just been an absolute nightmare. However, I'll be able to bolt a wheel up. It's not going far, it's going from there to there. So for now, let's bolt that up, get it on, get this car on all fours so I can move it. Let's go. So when you add some panels, it finally looks like a car. I didn't bother filming my struggles trying to put these doors on. With one pair of hands, it's not the easiest, let's just say that. And the alignment, well, I'm sure it's not too bad. You know, you can see all the old paint marks to be able to kind of line up stuff. So, you know, that gap is no Mike Brewer pound coin, that's for sure. But I don't really care. For now, all the panels are on, and it's looking like a car. I'm well tempted to fit the bumper up, but I've got what I needed to do done. You know, she will now roll out of the way, and I can get my lift installed, and I can get her up there, start finishing off some underneath parts. However, that's going. I'm going to go back original. I saw some 2-piece headlight and indicators from early spec, so I'll have the facelift and pre-facelift headlights to choose from. Obviously, that's just that was an aftermarket Grille off eBay. It's not too bad. It might come back, it might stay, but I think I might go for a more original look. Everything is just majorly dusty. These are the issues with having a unit out right now near farmland. It's a nightmare. See, now I left this wing off to show you the issue that I have. It's touching. It's probably why I was fudging around on the other side looking like a proper amateur trying to get the wheel on. And that's because I didn't even check to see if they were touching. But I've got 2 sets of these long bolts, which Jake with the RS4 again gave me, and they're longer at the front and shorter at the rear. And I put the longer ones at the front with the expectation that I might have to space these wheels because they're a spec for a Mark 7 Golf. And yeah, the offset's quite high on them. So I'm going to whip them off now, stick a 10mm spacer on them, which will clear the upright. The bolts inside are more than long enough to be able to cope with a spacer, so they're perfect for that, which will then allow me to put my centre cap on and the lock nut to make them look like that. So yeah, I'm desperate to give it a clean. The old girl's hanging. I'm still in that position where I don't know what I want to do paint wise. She's never changing colour, so if you're going to put in the comments, paint it silver, it's not happening. She will always stay Santorini blue. It's got to look like Grandad's car. I was out in mine, new purchase the other day at a meet, and I saw the owner of the company that I use for paint, and we were having a chat, and he said, probably best if you just get the engine bay done. And to be honest with you, that makes sense for now. So I'll get the engine bay painted, start working out what to do with the engine, because I am going to keep with the one that I bought. I've been messed around with that other one so many times that I can't be bothered with it anymore. I think I'm going to go down the route of hybriding the KO3 originally that's on the engine. Clean it up, paint it up, make it look good, do a cam belt and service, etc. But I'm not going to go deep on it. I'm just going to put the KO3, some supporter mods to get it up to about 250 brake and see how she performs like that. And then maybe look at getting another engine and building it on the side with a bit more power in mind, and then at one point swap it out and put a more powerful engine in, because this car isn't going anywhere. She will be staying with me for a long time, so it will be a constant progression, this one. But rather than me standing around talking for ages again, which I seem to do quite a bit, for now, this is where we're at. So, thanks as always for watching. Hopefully the next update will be some paint. Maybe some other little odds and ends that I can show you. And while it's on the ramp, perhaps I can start looking at getting some, finishing off the underneath, fuel lines, brake lines, etc, etc. But until then, please like, subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know what you're thinking, let us know what you think of the build. And yeah, thanks guys, we'll see you on the next one. Ta-da. So, yep, you're up to date. That is as far as I've got with the A4. She's rolling, and big thanks for Steph for giving us a hand, as you've seen in the video. I need another pair of hands for certain parts that we were doing. It was great to have someone be able to push it so I could see it rolling, etc, etc. And it did give me the momentum to carry on. But away from the unit and away from the A4, I did make another purchase in the way of a Porsche Cayman S. So that stole all the attention that the A4 was getting prior to that. So for the last few months I've been driving around that with friends with their performance cars, enjoying the Sunday drives out and the coffee meets and the evening sort of meets. So it stole my attention. Any car that you can just get in and drive and enjoy was always going to, whereas cold nights and cold weekends up the unit weren't all that attractive. And yeah, she sadly got forgotten about. However, this weekend I'm filming this to get you up to date so I can finally get this video out that I've had for ages on the phone. I have sold that car. I do plan to replace it, but I've decided that I'm going to do that next year. You know, I'm sure we're all aware that currently used car prices are crazy, and from a good friend who's told me who is in the motor trade, he's now starting to dip the prices down a bit on the forecourt. You never know, these prices might come down, so it's not something I was planning to use through the winter, so it makes sense to just forget about the car outside of here and yeah, worry about it next year. So I need to get this done, and it's been too long. I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit stuck where to go. From the cars that I've built, some of you know that I've built a couple of show cars prior that have been on the front cover of magazines and have done really well in the modified car world, and especially the Bora. And I knew everything about what I needed to do with that car. Performance-wise, I've never really got into a deep build with a car, and that's where I'm struggling. I can put a car on the floor and get fitting them correct. Putting power into an engine and knowing how to do it, or the best route to do it, you know, that's another problem. I don't want to just plough money away and when I don't need to. I know what I want, I don't know the best way of getting it. I know these 1.8 turbos, they need rods when you're above 300 brake, and I do want ideally around 400 brake. If you've watched the previous videos, you'll know that I've been messed around with an engine that I thought I was going to get at the start, which would have been ideal. I've got the AEB from an earlier spec car, which the loom then doesn't match my facelift one. So that's a bit awkward because all the plugs go from more modern square clips to the older ones that are circular. Fuse box is different because mine's a diesel fuse box, etc. A diesel wiring loom, and this isn't. And I can lengthen the loom when it's there, when it's going from Volkswagen to Volkswagen, and it's going from plug and play. But I've got to get someone either in, or I've got to really start doing some wiring homework. And I've got a guy that I know, and I think I'd just rather use Ron. He's that man, and he loves that sort of stuff. So why not give it to someone who loves doing it? But again, it's getting him up here to do that. Back to the engine, I've been hoping that I could buy one that was already done, because a decent set of rods is going to be £800, you know, plus your chain and your cam belt and doing all those sort of bits and bobs and the stuff that you would do when you're getting inherently inside an engine. Will I not just be better off to buy one that's already had some work done to it and save some money there, which was what this previous engine was supposed to be? So I've hunted, I've searched, I can't really find anything, so realistically I'm going to have to get into the engine which I have bought already and get that to work. I've just got to do it, but that is what's holding me up. You know, I didn't want to sink a load of money into this car, but it is well and truly already happened, and I have committed to the fact that I can't leave the car unpainted. I'm going to have to paint it because it will just bug me, even though it's supposed to be for the track. I do want the opportunity that if there was a car show on back in the circuit that I used to spend most of my weekends doing, I want to have the opportunity to take that, and if I'm going to take it there, I want it to look the best it can. So, you know, powder coat and everything, zinc bolts, it's going to be the same in the engine bay, everything's going to be clean and polished. It might as well still look good, but then still have a purpose. So, got at least a £3 paint job plus to do that. The engine, well, that's going to be enough. And before you know it, you can save it by 10 grand. So I've got to commit. But that is what I've got to do. I want it done. I want to get it on the road next year. But as you can see from the height of it and the video that I've just shown you previously, I do now finally have my 2-poster installed, which will make any work that I carry out further on so much easier. Because as you saw from the video, we got it rolling, but I haven't done any brake lines, I haven't done hand brakes, I haven't done any fuel lines or anything like that, because I didn't want to start running all that if I've got to paint the engine bay. You know, I want to try and dry mop the build so that I know when it goes to paint that I ain't going to have to drill anything. the 2 poster, which is kind of ironic because I inherited a lot of stuff from my wonderful granddad. Sadly passed away at the start of the year, and obviously if you haven't seen the previous videos, this was his car as well. So it's his car on his old lift being repaired with or built by some of his tools, so, and the knowledge that he's given me to be able to do it. So it really is, you know, it's a special build for me and my mum and many others and my uncle. So I've got to get it right. That means I've got to carry on. But as you can see, we were up in the air. You know, it's the work that me and Tom done to get it looking really good underneath. Yeah, it looks fantastic. That just means I've got to make the next parts as good. So we've got to get there with it. I'll pick you up and show you. As we can see, there we are, let's get you in the view. So yeah, as you can see, it's looking really good underneath the car. As I just will waddle along. Obviously just everything from the previous clip that I show you. Finger in the way. And as you can see, I have put the front panel on. Now there is a reason for this. I scored these early spec lights from the local breakers that I use. Tell you what, let's bring it down. As you can see, this is one problem I've got with the car, which is why I've got to fit S4 skirts, in my opinion. The Raptor will always, what's the best way to describe it, demetallic and metallic paint. So no matter what, unless you're using a solid colour like, I don't know, a radiant red or whatever, you know, they'll match perfectly. Metallics, when you Raptor them, they don't. And you can see the difference here. So what I'm planning on doing is using an S4 skirt, so it will cover up that brake, and I want to do them black because I want to match the rear bumper texture that I've got on here, because I'm running a standard bumper and it's going to look that way. Then I run a texture skirt along the bottom here, ideally an S4, and then the front splitter will be black to match how they would have been. Let's get you back to the front end. So I've decided that the replica RS4 grille, that's going to go as well. I'm going to go back to the original. But yeah, getting back to the point. Pre-facelift. Facelift. These are what came with the car. These are what I got from my local breakers. And I feel for the purpose of the car, I should go with the pre rather than the facelift, just because that was what they had in the cars originally. So that's still up for debate. Let me know down in the comments what you think. It'd be great to hear your input. I also had to trim some of the front support, rad support and that, just to clear the arch tubs. It's going to be very interesting. As you can see, it's been a while. They're starting to get a little bit of surface rust, but nothing that can't be sorted out. But yeah, I mean, having a lift is a godsend. And gearboxes, they need cleaning and painting. The engine and the looms. So I've got 2 looms. I've got an early and I've got another one. That was a debate as to whether I was going to try and chop and change these looms and get them to join into one. Obviously one being diesel, one being petrol. You can see the monumental difference there. But what I'm going to do is I'll make it simpler for myself. I'm going to get a facelift interior loom that sits behind the dash, get that, and then I can plug and play, hopefully, the loom. If I get a 1.8 turbo loom, the facelift one. Yeah. Perhaps if you can write down in the comments, do you know whether I can use on a early AEB engine a facelift, say AJL, loom? Is that plug and play? Is that something I can do? Just so it'll make it easier, because as I said, the plugs are different on the earlier spec engine. They've got, as you can see here, round connections, whereas the facelift have got these cross connections. So there's the difference. So, and they're all dirty. Look, I'm in my clean clothes. But yeah, can I use a facelift loom, engine loom, to match my facelift car on the earlier AEB? Hopefully you're going to say yes, because that'll make my life so much easier, because I'll just get a AJL loom, plug it on, plug it in, and I can get the interior finished, which is a dashboard and a couple other bits away. Oh, I have bought something else actually. Let me show you. Oh, look at my cooler works. Shooting. Yep, so we've got a nice cooler work shifter now as well. Silver gear knob to match me rubbish silver cage. It's in there, it looks apart, but it's terrible. I ain't gonna lie. That was a £150 buy, and it's £150 worth of stuff. It's crap, and it will need replacing. But for the time being, it'll do. But yeah, there you go, guys. That's you up to date. I am planning on trying to get some work done over winter, so hopefully I will update you. But I've got to be honest, I don't even know what's next. Do I mock up the engine, get it in the engine bay, make sure I've got my header tank fixed into a place so I know where I'm going to mount that, so that I can get the engine bay painted? Do I then send the car off for paint so it's all painted? Then install the interior, so everything else is done. I can then start running the brake lines, the fuel lines. I can get everything to the engine bay for when I do the engine. Or do I do the engine? Don't know, because if I do the engine, I don't know how to get the 400 brake, because I ain't got a blooming clue. Do I do rods? Do I do it NA intake cam? Do I go a whole set turbo? Do I splash out on a Garrett? I ain't got a bloody clue. I ain't got an infinite budget, you know. So that's where I'm at. I'm stuck in this rut, and I'm struggling to get out of it. You know, unlimited money. I just send that engine away to someone, get it done. I want 450 brake, make it like that, and get a big bill. Sending the car for paint, it's great, but I don't want to start chopping in the things that I need to then redo. Nothing worse than having to cut, drill through paint that's just been painted. So yeah, I'm a bit stuck. But she needs to be done, and I'm not getting anywhere by not doing it. So yeah, I've got rid of a car, so it means I can concentrate on getting this done. And I hope that I'll be able to give you some updates very shortly. Any information on what I've just been talking about, feel free to put it in the comments. Alternatively, I'm on Instagram, Nathan_N10WCO. Hopefully there'll be a bit more updates on there as well. I'm all for information. If you have some, it'd be great. Until then, please like and subscribe. Consider sharing it with your friends. It will all help eventually. And I hope to bring you some more content very soon. Thanks for sticking with us. Catch up with you soon. Cheers.